On the handoff to Marlon Mack, huge hole, 50-yard line. He's at the 40, still going near sideline. He's at the 10, he's at the 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Marlon Mack. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. Leonard with his second INT, and he's streaking down the near sideline. He's at the 40, he's at the 30, he's at the 20. He's gonna go a pick six for the Maniac.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
What's up, guys? It's another week in the NFL with the Colts playing today against the Browns. A couple different faces here, Colts Nation. You got Justin Bowerly and Jacob Mummert subbing in today for Cody and Derek. Good friends of both Cody and Derek, and we're just so happy to be on the show today. Jacob, we usually do a live show, but we decided it's time for a change, and we're going to bring the juice here on the Bring the Juice Colts podcast for our live pregame show. So, guys, be sure to drop any questions about fantasy football, the game, anything today. Like we will talk about it all today. So, Jacob, let's start off just like we do every day. What are you wearing today, man?
So I am repping the Andrew Luck jersey today. I was worn Darius Leonard's jersey the past two games, but I got to change it up a little bit today. Darius isn't playing, but I gotta get the mojo back with the Luck jersey. Yeah.
I wore the Luck jersey game one, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just retire this for the season because we lost to the Jaguars. So, as you know, Jacob, every time I wear something that's a wide receiver related shirt or jersey, we win the game. So I went back. True. I went back with the T.Y. Hilton shirt. Let's hope we get another win off of that. So, man. So let's get another game. Let's get another win against the Browns here today. Have to keep everything in here. So, Jacob, let's go ahead and talk about some injury news. If you want to go ahead and break down both the Colts and the Browns injury reports.
Absolutely. So I'll start with the Colts. And guys, we got some big guys out today. Left tackle Anthony Costanzo, due to a rib injury, is out. Linebacker Darius Leonard, like we mentioned, is out. And I mean, those are two big hits. I mean, for Anthony Costanzo, that breaks up an offensive line, NFL's best 22-game start streak. And that includes postseason play, all of that coming to an end today because he's out. So we hope that LaRaven Clark can kind of step up in that role against the Browns defensive line that is pretty good. And then some other notable injuries for the Colts. Anthony Walker is questionable. He did make the flight over, so odds are he probably will play. Bobby Okereke, another linebacker who had thumb surgery after the Bears game, is good to go. TJ Carey, who was inactive for the Bears game, is good to go. EJ Speed also had an elbow injury. He's available to play. And Kenny Moore kind of popped up on the injury report with a non-injury related absence, but he did not practice Friday, but practiced Wednesday and Thursday, but he is also good to go for this game. And then on the Browns side, they had a really big injury report this week, but only three guys that are out: linebacker Tay Davis, defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, and cornerback Greedy Williams. And I think the big one here is Larry Ogunjobi, because that's going to free up a lot of space on the defensive line, although they still have Myles Garrett. So still to watch out for there. They have two questionable guys in safety, Carl Joseph, and defensive end Adrian Claiborne. But everyone else, guys, it's good to go. OBJ with the toe, he's in. Kareem Hunt with a groin, he's good. Jarvis Landry's a hip. Sheldon Richardson thigh, all good to go. Their rookie tackle, Jedrick Wills Jr., had a calf injury, but he's good to go. So they're going to have a bulk of their offensive unit a little hampered by injuries, but all look good to go for this Sunday's matchup.
Yeah, it seems like the injury list is long, but I mean, like you said, most of these are good to go that were just hurt throughout the week. For those of you guys just joining in right now, this is Justin and Jacob hour for the Colts live stream before the game today. Cody and Derek are giving us the kingdom today. So we're very thankful to be on this show today with a lot of you Colts fans. I know you guys are very, very, very passionate about your Colts. And Jacob and I just want to bring that to you guys. So Cody and Derek are both watching. So if you got comments for them, just leave them some comments, man. They'll respond. I already see Cody in here responding, and I can see Derek walking around every now and then. So Jacob, let's talk about some fantasy football here real quick because it is Sunday. There's a lot of things that just changed today with the Patriots Broncos game being pushed back an entire week. I know personally I'm kind of SOL on some things.
Yeah,
because I was really relying on a couple players to get me like 15 points. So that sucks. But let's talk about this game for fantasy. And guys, if you have any fantasy football questions, be sure to drop them in the comments. We will definitely answer some. Jake and I's fantasy teams are doing pretty solid this year.
Yeah, pretty good.
I would say. So let's go ahead and start with the first one here. Baker Mayfield, Philip Rivers. Who do you start today?
I think this is tough, but I think you got to go with Baker Mayfield here. I think just their offense is just a little more explosive than the Colts at this point. And honestly, guys, we don't want Rivers throwing the ball a lot, so you're kind of hedging your bet here that the Colts actually try to run the ball again, which we need to be doing. So I think I'm going to go Baker Mayfield, just what we saw from last week. Now, guys, by far and large, our defense is much better than the Cowboys defense, but still they have that big playability with OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt. They have all the pieces there. It's just, is this a game that they're going to put it together against our strong defense? So I think out of these two, I'm probably going Mayfield today.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you. I do think Mayfield has the bigger boom percentage, boom ability than Philip Rivers. I mean, Philip can't throw 2 touchdowns in one game yet this season. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen today either. So Baker's definitely there, but I'm worried about turnovers on his aspect because he's going to be the person on their team to be turning the ball over. And we'll talk about this later in my bold predictions. I think there's going to be a lot of those. So we'll get there. We'll get there in like another 40 minutes, guys. Keep listening. So let's move on to the running back positions. Let's talk about Jonathan Taylor, Kareem Hunt. We all saw Nick Chubb's on the IR now from last week's injury. He was 6 plays into the game, and Kareem Hunt came in. I think as a team they ran 300 yards on the game. So there's some boom ability there too. But who do you start, Taylor or Hunt?
Yeah, for this running back situation, I mean, it's kind of up in the air for me because we haven't seen Jonathan Taylor have as much of success as I think we would like to have seen him have so far this season. And Kareem Hunt, is that guy that can step in. I mean, he was getting the production when he was the number 2 split back with Nick Chubb. So it's just, honestly, it's who you believe in more. Do you believe in our defense being able to stop the run or the Browns defense being able to stop our run? Because honestly, it's the Colts at 4 and the Browns at 5 in run defense. So I'd probably give the nod to Kareem Hunt because he does a lot pass catching out of the backfield. But if we can get the run game going against this kind of beat up, Browns defensive line, I think Jonathan Taylor could have another good game. I say this every week, like Jonathan Taylor's going to have a breakout game, and he hasn't yet. But I'm just hoping and praying that one of these games we're going to be right, and he's just going to run for over 100 yards. That'd be spectacular. It's what we really need.
Yeah, I agree. Jonathan Taylor really does need to have that game. And I know Nick Chubb's hurt. And to be perfectly honest, I wish he wasn't because I want the Browns to be at 100% when we beat them. Yeah, I don't want there to be we were missing Chubb. Well, guess what? We're also missing Constanzo and Leonard. So get over it. Okay, so let's talk about some Colts wide receivers here. Let's go T.Y. Hilton or Zach Pascal. This week, NFL Network even has had Zach Pascal as a potential bust out player today against the Browns, especially since he's going to be moving into that number 2 wide receiver slot. Who do you see really taking this today? Would you start Hilton or would you start Pascal? Because I have Hilton on my team and I can go pick up Pascal today.
See this is another questionable one, but I think for upside wise, I think I'm willing to take the risk on Zach Pascal this week, and here's why. Browns have had some injuries at cornerback, and the Dallas Cowboys, yes, the Browns beat them, but I mean, Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb had their day of it, and that was a pretty high scoring game. So I feel like if TY draws the best corner on their team, that's going to leave Zach Pascal with wide open opportunities all day. My only setback is the way Philip Rivers kind of spreads the ball out, because then you're not getting high production from one receiver, you're getting even production from all receivers, which from a football standpoint, that's great. From a fantasy perspective, it's like, I want the Odell Beckham Jr. who's going to be have a monster game like he did against Dallas. I just don't think you're going to get that from a Colts wide receiver. But for upside value, I think I would take Zach Pascal today, just because he's going to get the second best coverage, and we've already seen what he's able to do as wide receiver 1 last season. Now you slot that kind of caliber player into wide receiver 2, and I think this is a game where, honestly, he could have a breakout game.
Yeah, very true on that one. I was going to ask you next if you start OBJ or Hilton, but I'm going to change this. Would you start Pascal or OBJ?
It's
a tough one.
It is a tough one, because you saw how explosive Odell was in that game. But again, our secondary, I think, is going to be able to cover him much better. He's probably going to draw Xavier Rhodes, which he should be. And that should be a fun matchup to watch, honestly. But I'm going to hedge my bets, and I'm going to bank on the Colts defense and say I would take Zach Pascal over OBJ.
Yeah, I would, on a personal level, I would take Pascal over OBJ just because, Rhodes closed.
Yep.
And you got to root for the defense, because I personally, I don't want to be like, oh, come on, OBJ, get more receptions.
Right.
No, I don't want that. I want him shut down today.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk OBJ or Landry. We both know Landry's been up and down. He's had a roller coaster season. I know this personally on him on my roster. How do you feel about this matchup?
I think I would still go OBJ still. Just Landry has been too inconsistent. OBJ comes into Cleveland, and I know they were, college teammates, good friends, whatever, but OBJ has just overshadowed Landry up to this point. And that comment's perfect, just because that's who they're going to go to. Jarvis Landry isn't going to get the looks. They use him they used him more as in trick plays last week than they actually did in the actual offense. I'm pretty sure. So I would still go OBJ over Jarvis Landry, just because, you never know what you're going to get. He's been too inconsistent. OBJ has at least shown us his potential so far this season.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's talk about our tight ends here. Let's talk about Mo Cox and Trey Burton. Trey Burton, I felt like they forced the ball last week.
Yes.
Against Chicago. Yes. And I felt like it was because it was against Chicago.
Yes.
And Chicago gave up on them. And we want to be like, hey, look, guys, you're paying him more than we are today. But do you think that's really going to be a consistent thing this year on the offense, of just trying to force the ball in Trey Burton's hands? And if so, do you start him because he's going to get more targets?
I hope not. Honestly, I hope not. And here's a little bit of soapbox time. You can't force the ball into a guy's hand. Not only was he coming off IR, but you can't force him the ball when he's not ready for it. Did we force the ball to Mo Cox, or did he just catch everything and become this great player? That's what it was. He took advantage of his opportunities. Trey Burton, and it's no fault of him, but that's what, Frank Reich scheming, then whatever. But we extremely forced the ball to Trey Burton, and he wasn't ready for it. We saw he had, significant drops and everything like that. So I hope they treat him more of like a Jack Doyle beginning Mo Cox role. Back to when Mo Cox kind of had his breakout game, where if it was open, they took it. If not, he was definitely not the first option, because you need to ease him back into it. Trey Burton's going to give you highlight plays every once in a while, but if you force it to him, then it's never going to happen. He makes more of a production off of kind of game time. You need this, you need this catch. You go to Trey Burton, or you need this kind of pick me up play. You go to Trey Burton. I just don't think he's going to get you steady production if you force him the ball. But sadly, I think that's what we're going to keep trying to do, because Frank Reich just knows his talent, and he knows he wants to get him involved in the offense. But I don't think now's the right time. I think you wait a couple weeks and slowly build him back into it.
Yeah. I really do hope he picks up what he did in the offseason with Philip Rivers. They were connecting and then just got hurt. So let's see. Let's talk about the defense here. This is a question for me, because this week I pick up a defense and it's like, oh, you're getting postponed to next week. Or I pick up another defense and it's like, oh, they're not playing a game or something. Colts defense or the Browns defense? And I've really thought about picking up the Browns defense today. But who do you start?
It's not a terrible idea, because of the kind of injuries that the Colts have, especially on the defensive line. Anthony Walker probably will play, but he's still questionable. Bobby Okereke coming off of surgery, EJ Speed, elbow injury, guys are sitting out for rest, and that's fine. But when you lose Darius Leonard, I'm anxious to see how much of a change we see from this defense because of how much of a motivator and vocal leader he is on that side of the ball. I want to see A, who steps up, and B, if they can continue their high play with him out. So all that being said, I think you still start the Colts defense because of the way their secondary has been playing, and our line can still stop the run. So I would still go Colts defense, but Browns is, if you can't get the Colts defense, I don't think Browns would be a terrible option either.
Yeah. I might have to go pick up the Browns defense today. I don't know. Like, I hate to say it, but we don't score a lot. So
we don't score a lot. And plus, you just never know when you're going to force Phillip Rivers to throw the ball. And then we saw what happened in week 1. Like, I hope the Colts really focus in on the run game this game. I get really nervous when Rivers throws the ball over 20 times. That's when I'm like, oh no, it's just waiting for something bad to happen.
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked, Costanzo's out. So Myles Garrett's lined up with a backup left tackle, so they could get sacks, they could force turnovers, it could get really ugly really fast. I hope it doesn't. Okay, so let's talk. And guys, if you have any fantasy questions, be sure to ask them. We will definitely answer our own opinions on them at least. Let's talk about a couple of transactions today, Jacob. So elevated Jake Eldrenkamp and Marcus Johnson to the active roster with those injuries to both. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we activated them. We signed Najee Good to the practice squad, another linebacker, which is good because it seems like that don't know what's going on with Leonard here. Yeah. But did you see any other transactions this week?
Not anything big. I think we signed a couple guys to the practice squad. I think we signed a guy early in the week and then dropped him to make place for Najee Good. So I think, it's more practice squad moves at this point. They're still trying to find guys to step up and fill the Paris Campbell, Michael Pittman Jr. roles. So I love the move by getting Marcus Johnson back involved. I hope to see him more involved in the offense. And Jake Eldrenkamp is there for more of security reasons, I guess. If Raven Clark, can't even say it, doesn't pan out, then you have another offensive lineman that you can throw into the mix. So those are more insurance picks for me. Najee Good, I was really excited to see another familiar face, really excited to see what he can do. Hopefully he gets a spot on the active roster here soon with some of these injuries. But yeah, normally it's just kind of practice squad players getting moved around and guys, up and coming in the wind that hopefully we don't have to dive into, but hopefully we can just see what they're able to maybe in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Not Colts related here, Jacob, real quick, but we do have a question on what's a better game to watch before the Colts game. Do they watch the Ravens versus Bengals or the Eagles versus Steelers? Those games are in Gavin's area. So which one would you rather watch today? This is honestly completely unrelated.
I think I would rather watch the Eagles at the Steelers, and here's why.
I would.
Carson Wentz had a pretty good game last week, and he's facing a lot of uncertainty at this point. He's my fantasy quarterback, and I had to trade with you to get Jalen Hurts because I wasn't sure what they were going to do with Carson Wentz. So I want to see what they can continue to use him and see if he's going to bounce back or if that was just kind of a flash in the pan, and they're still uncertain at their quarterback position. And on the other side of the ball, the Steelers had to have their whole schedule kind of ruined because of Tennessee. So I want to see how they respond. Are they going to be, I know it's just like coming off a bye week, but still it was an
unplanned bye week,
completely thrown together. So I want to see how they respond to this and battle the Eagles. And honestly, Ravens at Bengals, I'm not expecting much. Like the Ravens should have a pretty easy go of it. Joe Burrow, I know is exciting to watch, but I think I'd rather see, Steelers Eagles at this point.
Yeah, and didn't the Eagles beat the 49ers last week, didn't they? Was that a game last week?
I know the Eagles won last week. I'm not 100% certain who they played.
Now I'm questioning myself. I probably should look at this.
See, here you go. This is why, you got to research things before you say them.
Oh, man. Yeah, I know. That's terrible. All right. Jacob, let's talk about our X Factors today in this game. First, we probably mentioned this, but just to reiterate, guys, and I'm sure all of you know, the game today is at 4:25 again. So three straight weeks we've had a 4:00 game this year, which can't get a primetime game, but gosh darn it, We will definitely get a 425 game.
Timeout. Almost had 2 opposing teams get to play a primetime game in your home venue.
Yeah,
that made me a little mad. It didn't happen, but made me a little mad.
Yeah. So, so 425 today in Cleveland. The weather is partly cloudy and it's supposed to be around 66 degrees during game time with a 14-mile-an-hour wind. So, yeah, let's get into our X factors, knowing the weather, knowing what time it is, how many people are potentially going to be watching the game. So, Jacob, let's talk about your X factor first.
Yeah, so this is probably a lot of people's factors for the Colts today. But honestly, for me, it's Anthony Walker in the linebacking core. Because like I mentioned earlier, you lose Darius Leonard. I want to see how this team responds. And honestly, the linebackers are kind of looked to as the leaders and captains, and that's what Darius Leonard was. So I know Anthony Walker's got the skill set to do that, but he is also questionable. We all are pretty sure he'll play, but he still has a nagging injury. Bobby Okereke had surgery on his thumb. He's still good to go. EJ Speed had an elbow injury. So we're just really banged up at the linebacking core. So I want to see how these guys step up and have a really good game, but also how the rest of the defense kind of steps up and fills in and supports them. But Anthony Walker is the X factor. I think if he plays well and leads our defense, I think we have a pretty good game.
Okay. I'm going to go to the other side of the ball for my X factor today. And just to give everybody on this stream's history lesson here, every week I pick an X factor, they ball out. Since week 2, really. I mean, so I picked Xavier Rhodes week 2. Xavier Rhodes balled out against his former team, the Vikings. I picked Jonathan Taylor in week 1. Jonathan Taylor went off. It's just been it's been good. What was it, last week? I think I picked the entire offensive line and they did pretty well, or it was one of those weeks. I don't remember now. They're all starting to blur up.
I think it was,
but we're getting wings. Yeah, it was with the Jets. I think you're right.
I mean, you're not going out on a limb here. You're picking pretty good guys that have a lot of potential. But I'll let you have this one. You can have this one.
Yeah, that's okay.
You were also right about the Eagles and the 49ers game. Eagles beat them last week 25-20. So I got your fact check for you.
Know what I'm talking about occasionally. So. Oh man, Gavin. I always talk trash after the game.
No, I'm pretty confident.
I mean, you can talk trash during before the game. That's fine. Yeah. Just know that. I mean, if you lose, you're gonna get trash talk for a week.
We have the perfect excuse if we lose. It's because we're without Darius Leonard. We're without Anthony Costanzo.
We're without 2 All-Pros. So that's fine. Okay, so
talk all the trash, man. Talk all the trash.
Back into it. My X factor this week is T.Y. Hilton. I think he has to show up today. Yes, I know he's not going up against OBJ and Jarvis Landry, but he's going to be compared to OBJ and Jarvis Landry in this game. He has to make catches. He has to catch every single ball that comes his way. He went 3 for 3 last week. He's starting to get back into things. I think his grandma calling him out over a phone call kind of has kicked him into gears. Now let's just give Phillip Rivers let's get the ball into his hands a little bit more often, give him some more receptions, give him another deep ball, and let's get things rolling. TY, you have to show up today. There's no question about it. I think he does become the X factor on the offense because I think they feed Pascal pretty early and pretty often, and that forces people Pascal's way, and then boom, TY over the top. Yeah, I think that's going to be how it's going to go. So let's hope that's how it does go.
Yeah. Okay, well, and honestly, I mean, you have less mouths to feed on the offense now. And I hate saying that, but you lose Paris Campbell, you lose Michael Pittman Jr., you lose Marlon Mack. I mean, now you have Hilton, you have Pascal, you have Mo Alley Cox. We haven't seen a whole lot of Jack Doyle, Nyheim Hines. I mean, there's less mouths to feed. So I think that Ty and Pascal get a lot of attention. I hope Mo Alley Cox gets a lot of attention this game. I was upset with his production in the Bears game. But Ty is going to be a big part of this one.
Well, Mo's went down because of Trey Burton. So if we can stop forcing the ball to people that don't need the ball, then he'll be fine. But I do think Mo Alley Cox, that was another one of my X factors, by the way. Yeah. I think he can be a top 5 tight end in this league. I really do. He's a big guy. He catches it. You get him in open space. No, sorry. I don't want to tackle you.
Yeah.
I think Mo Alley Cox becomes last year's Darren Waller this year. where
Sure.
Darren Waller completely broke out with the Raiders, and now he's considered a top 5 tight end. So I think that's going to be big.
My only setback to that is that we also have Jack Doyle and Trey Burton on the roster. And
Jack Doyle's getting old.
Yeah, but if it's anything like the Bears game and they keep wanting to try to get Trey Burton involved, that hurts Mo Alley Cox game terribly. So yes, if you're listening, Colts, get Mo Alley Cox the ball. Trey Burton will find his way to operate in the offense. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, even if it's a blocking tight end. So I want to add some trivia here, Jacob. I got my trivia question. Okay. So right now we are not producing on the level that we are usually accustomed to in previous offenses, especially in 2006 when we won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So Jacob, my question here is, how many touchdowns did the Colts score in the 2006 season?
Ooh.
And guys, if you know this question, if you know this answer, drop it in the comments, and let's see how many of you guys know without looking it up. Don't go Google searching. I mean, you could Google search. I won't know. I can't look at your phone. So yeah, how many touchdowns did they score in 2006? So
I've been pretty good on trivia thus far, and I'm stumped. I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk while you're thinking about it, and while everybody else is thinking about it and Googling the answer real quick. Let's talk about the 3 keys to the game, Jacob. What are your 3 keys to the Colts win today?
So I know I'm new to this stream, but on every other live show I've done, literally run the ball has been my number 1 key for every week. And you guys better get used to it here, because it will literally be my number 1 key to every game, because we have no reason but to not try to run the ball. Like I've been very underwhelmed, I guess you could say, with the running. And I understand Marlon Mack went down and that was a big injury, but you can't hype up a 1A, 1B running back system and then have it like fall apart when one.
Well, your 1A goes down though, so now you just have 1B.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Jordan
1B is a 1.
Naheem Hines has been rushing better. Like, I just don't understand why we're still faltering this much.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can sit here and argue that Marlon Mack was doing things that Jonathan Taylor isn't. And maybe he is, but I don't know why we slacked off that much in the run game. But this is going to be a tough Browns front defensive line here. But like I mentioned earlier, they are banged up as well. And the Browns are right behind the Colts in run defense at 5th. So I think the Colts are going to have a struggle today running the ball, especially with Costanzo out, just another big piece of that line. But I just hope they try to at least establish the run game. Let's try to get it started and going, because if it's anything like what we've seen so far this season, when the run game's not working, we let Phillip Rivers air it out. And that works for about 20 passes, and then we never know what we're going to get. So I just feel much safer as a Colts fan when we are running the ball. So that's why that's always going to be my number 1 key, especially this season.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And the Browns have a tough run defense. Yeah. So this will be a real test to Jonathan Taylor, and if he can really pick it up. I mean, I hope so. I hope he runs for 100 yards today. That would be 100 rushing yards today from Jonathan Taylor would be a win, in my opinion.
Yeah. And the thing is about JT is he's getting better every week, which is what you want to see, because, after week 3, it was like, oh, he's kind of struggling with vision. Week 4, I thought he made a large improvement in that category. So every week he's picking something to get better at, and it's going to be no difference this week. We're going to see an improvement in his game. We need to keep feeding him, because the only way he's going to get better is if he's getting more touches and he's really hitting those holes and hitting defenders, because I think he's a guy that really excels at getting contact. It was like, I hate to bring it up, but Andrew Luck, when he said what got me into the game was getting sacked, and we never want to see him getting sacked, but getting hit is what got him motivated and got him into the game. So I feel like that might be true with Jonathan Taylor. He wants to bust through the holes and pop somebody, and that's what gets him in the game and in the groove.
I would love it if Myles Garrett goes to tackle him and he just trucks them. That would be amazing.
Or at least they lock up. I'll settle for a lockup. But yeah.
You seen the movie The Blind Side, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where he just completely trucks the guy, and the defensive player goes to the sideline and
carries
just sits there and he's just like, oh man. I hope that happens today with he carries him first and then throws him down. He goes to the bench and is just like, oh, I'm not that good. I hope that happens to Myles Garrett today. I hope he's like, yeah, I got this. I'm gonna destroy everybody. Like, you guys suck. and then Jonathan Taylor just pops him, and then he's like, oh god.
See, I thought you were gonna do the scene where he just picks the guy up and just pushes him down the field, picks him up and puts him over the fence. Because that would be cool to see as well.
Yeah. So before we get to number 2, guys, I just want to say it one more time for everybody that has just joined the live stream. Justin and Jacob are here. We usually do a Colts pregame show every week before the game, and Derek and Cody has graciously allowed us onto their podcast to talk Colts football before the game today, and just live stream for an hour or so. And we've got a guest later today as well. So that's why you see us, and that's why Cody and Derek aren't here. So all right. So Colts average margin of victory in 3 games are 18 points. The Browns are 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a tight gap.
Yeah. I don't even know what to think about that, to be honest with you, but
it makes me nervous because we haven't been scoring touchdowns, and that's what we're gonna need to stay ahead of these guys.
Yeah, man, that's Cody. What are you doing to me, man? Here, so wow, I'm completely at a loss for words. Yeah, that we both know the Browns score a lot of touchdowns. I mean, they score a lot.
Yeah, they're an explosive offense. Yes,
and we don't. But the other team also doesn't score a lot on us. I mean, 11-8, like not a lot of points in our wins. And so I think that's going to be a key to, do the Browns score a lot, or do we hold the Browns to nothing? Yeah. So that's going to be a big one here. So Jacob, let's go to number 2 here. What is your second key to the game?
Well, this is a great segue because my second key is finishing off drives. Because if you've heard anything I've done before Colts podcast wise, it's always been that the Colts have lacked finishing off drives, and we've made it thus far without that being a big hindrance to us. But this is a game where, like we're talking about, the Browns have an explosive offense and have shown what they can do. We're going to have to score more touchdowns to at least outpace them, especially with the injuries we have on the defensive side. So, we just have to start converting these field goals into touchdowns. And, Blankenship is tied for first in points with 45. He's kicked 14 field goals. The average so far this season is 8. 8 per team is what field goals is the average, and he's at 14. So I'm going to go off on a little soapbox here. And I had to do a lot of math for this, and it's just, it frustrated me the more I dived into it. But since Hot Rod was born in 1997, the average field goals attempted per season is 962 among all 32 teams in the NFL. Divide that by 32. You get roughly 30 field goals attempted per team. Hot Rod right now is projected 56 attempts. That's going to be 26 over the average in the NFL. And I mean, yeah, the kid's got a leg, and yeah, he's done so well, so good, but this needs to change. There's no way we can keep winning games against tough opponents with just relying on field goals and scoring 1 touchdown a game. We have to start converting these drives into touchdowns, and we have the pieces to do it. Whether it's play calling, whether it's just bad timing or mismanagement of the play clock, what have you. We just need to figure out what's wrong and convert these field goals into touchdowns. It's not that I don't want to see Hot Rod excel, but we just have to score touchdowns to outpace this Browns team.
Yeah, we can't be content with field goals.
No, we can't be content with field goals. And that's not a knock on Blankenship. Like, when he's in, he needs to nail them. Like, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just complaining that we got to start converting these into touchdowns, because that's a 4-point swing right there.
Yeah.
So
all right. Yeah. I'm not scared about this game. I really do think we can own the Browns. This is the Browns. Let's talk about this. This is the Browns who always sometimes have a good start, and then they're garbage the rest of the year. Let's talk about some of the defenses they've played. They haven't played anybody. Like, everybody was like, oh, the Bears are going to win. And like, we through the whole week, we're like, guys, the Bears haven't played anybody either. And the teams that they have beat were barely a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, they barely beat them.
Chicago
they came back
didn't win
to
those games.
Yeah,
those teams lost the game.
Those
it wasn't Chicago winning.
Lost.
Yeah, it was the other teams losing, and
the Giants should have won
by that.
So and if people that say that the Colts defense haven't played an offense, the Vikings have scored like 30 points every game since other than the game they played us, they still have one of the best running backs in the league with Dalvin Cook, and we held him to under 50 yards. So whatever. I see you in the comments there, dude. You know who you are, and everybody else knows who you are too. We're not scared of the Browns. Like, not at all. So,
well, hold on quickly. I want to recap the Browns schedule because just to prove, I think, kind of our point here. Week 1, they lost 38-6 to the Ravens. Week 2, they won 35-30 over the Bengals, which that game came down to the wire as well.
The Bengals, come on, guys.
Hold on. It gets better. Week 3, they won 34-20 over the Washington football team. And then last week, they beat the Dallas Cowboys 49-38, but Dallas almost came back in that one. Almost. So, yeah. Dallas is probably their best win, but
not scared.
I'm not worried.
I'm not worried. Not worried at all. Number 3, Jacob.
Yes. It's got to be players stepping up. I mean, we're not gonna lie. We have a lot of injuries, and we're gonna have to. We've had these injuries all season. You know, Marlon Mack went down. Who's gonna step up at running back? Is it gonna be Jonathan Taylor? Or is it gonna be Nyheim Hines? Paris Campbell, Michael Pittman Jr. goes down. Who's going to step up at wide receiver? And now, especially with Costanzo going down, Leonard going down, we got to have guys step up and fill these roles. And so far, I've been happy with the guys that have stepped up. Julian Blackmon has been great in the safety position. Jonathan Taylor is pretty much what we thought he was going to be. I'd love to see Zach Pascal get more involved. Love to see Reese Fountain, Marcus Johnson, some of these guys get some looks. But really today, we need to figure out, is our offensive line going to be steady without Costanzo? And are the linebackers going to step up to fill the big void left by Darius Leonard? And I think those are two positions, especially the left tackle and the linebacking core are going to be two positions I'm going to watch closely. We have the guys that can do it, especially on the defensive side. I'm a little more worried about the offensive side, but I think Anthony Walker, Bobby Okereke can step up and fill those. I'm much more worried about the offensive line being stable without Costanzo.
Yeah. Yeah, play. I mean, you're right, 100% right. Players do need to step up today with starters out. So, God, I don't want to keep getting onto a tangent of the Colts are not the same team as the Browns. God. Okay, I got to stop reading some comments here because this guy. Okay. So, nobody has even attempted to answer the question, guys.
I'll throw out an answer.
How many touchdowns did the Colts score in the 2006 season? That was the season that the Colts won the Super Bowl against the Bears. Jacob, do you have a guess for me?
So it's the season entirety going into the Super Bowl. Like it counts the Super Bowl and the playoffs as well, not just the regular season.
I think it was just the regular season.
Oh boy.
Well, it just says this 2006 season, so I didn't actually do math on if it included the playoffs, but I'm pretty sure it's just the season.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. I just don't. I don't have a ballpark even to gauge this by. I'm gonna go 45. I think I'm too high. But
45. Okay.
Yeah.
Cody, Derek, if you guys also have a guess, be sure to drop it in the comments.
I think I'm way too. I don't know. I just don't know. I think I'm too high though.
You think you're too high?
See,
I mean, Peyton Manning was on that roster. That was.
I know,
solid.
but
we got a guess coming. Guessing 66.
I was gonna say 100. That was my gut reaction. I was like, that's way too high.
It's 700 points, Jacob.
I thought we were going playoffs and Super Bowl. I didn't.
Do you think we scored 700 points that season?
Well, no, I doubt it. But I was like, all right, let's start at 100 and work our way backwards. And I landed at 45. So
we have another guess here. That's 53. That's actually really close. If we have no more 55, that's also fairly close as well. I'll allow the question to go a little bit longer. So guys, keep guessing. If it's 53, I send you a box of cookies. No.
Oh, come on. We could do
okay. If it's 53, I'll send you a box of cookies. How about that? Okay. So
we just go get insomnia cookies and have them sent there. That's what you could do.
I was thinking Girl Scout cookies, but I don't even know.
That works too.
Are they selling Girl Scout cookies still?
No, that's long past, dude.
Okay. There's another 58, 50. Some really good guesses here. I'll allow a couple more here. We'll announce the answer at 12:15. How about that? You got 6 minutes to get all the guesses you want.
Okay.
Okay. So we've talked, let's see. And also, guys, if you have any fantasy football questions, be sure to drop those questions in the comments below too. We would love to see that. And yes, Alonzo, TY needs to step up today.
Yes.
I 100% agree. And that was the reason why he is my X factor today, because I want him to step up. So, and guys, thank you, Cody. Thank you so much for us killing it today. This is your guy, guys. This is Cody Felger right here in the flesh. Well, not in the flesh. He's virtual right now. But virtually saying, keep listening, guys. So 51 and 61. Let's 116. Brandon Smith. Come on.
See,
over 700 points in a season. Come on, guys. Let's be realistic.
That's
we
where
were
I
good
started.
that year, but we're not that good. This isn't like the Chiefs.
If we need to stall for a little bit of time, I have a theory for TY. He needs to step up because this is a contract year. And honestly, with the wide receivers we have up and coming and in the wind, I don't think we really need TY moving forward. You have Zach Pascal, Paris Campbell gets healthy, Michael Pittman Jr., Reese Fountain, Desmond Patton, Marcus Johnson. I don't know if you need to find another deep threat guy. But I don't know if TY keeps what he's been doing up. Makes it much harder for me to allow signing him back.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, sorry. Got some breaking news on my phone that I had to not listen. I had to check out. Okay, so all right. Browns average 32 points. Okay. And like defenses are guys, we're not the same team as the Browns. Like this isn't the same.
I will get the Browns do have an explosive offense, and
they do.
When they have it going. They get it going. I just think people are undervaluing our defense, and I understand Darius Leonard is out, but that front line is still all intact and still healthy, and the secondary is still healthy. I mean, we got TJ Carey back, and we have that secondary shored up. So unless they're going to beat us with Austin Hooper, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it at that. But
yeah, okay, so. Let's go ahead and let's move on to some bold predictions, Jacob. Let's talk about what's going to happen today.
Okay.
Let's get a bold prediction for both the Browns and the Colts. Jacob, do you want to start or do you want me to go first? I always make you go first.
Yeah, you're leading it, man. If
you go first.
Okay,
you go first.
I'll go first. I like going first. All right. So for the Browns, I think Odell gets 2 touchdowns today, and that's obviously not a knock on our defense. That's just how explosive he is, and I think he's going to keep up kind of that stellar play that we saw last week. I mean, yeah, he's probably going to match up against Xavier Rhodes, but I just like OBJ's athleticism, I think, in that matchup there. So I think he gets 2 touchdowns. But I think the Colts defense gets can't even talk today. Defense gets 2 turnovers, and Rivers throws the ball 25 times. I'm not happy about that, but that's what I think is going to happen. I was going to put something about touchdowns, but I got to see it first before I bank money on us scoring more than 1 touchdown a game. But yeah.
Okay. Before I do my bold prediction here, I want to point out a comment here in the feed here, Jacob.
Okay.
We have a guy bragging that don't forget that the Browns have laundry. Great. We're going to take out the laundry today. I'm just going to call it. Colts are taking out the laundry.
Oh.
So sorry, Blast one, and whatever your name is. Yeah, Landry is good. I understand the Browns have Landry, but I don't know about this laundry guy. Apparently he can stretch the field, so I don't know about that. All right, so that was your bold predictions. OBJ gets 2 touchdowns. Defense gets 2 turnovers, and Rivers throws the ball for 25 times, 25 yards.
Oh, no.
No. Oh,
no,
not
25 yards. 25
oh,
times.
That would be bad.
I worry about
so
you saying bold predictions wrong because you're pretty close on these, and I'm going to be upset if Rivers only throws the ball for 25 yards. I'm coming after you.
Okay, so guys, my bold predictions have been fairly solid. I feel like I might pick easy ones. I don't know.
You do, but
that's
okay.
fair. So my bold predictions today, for the Browns at least, the Browns rush for under 100 yards as a team, not just Kareem Hunt, but as a team, they rush under 100 yards. I think this is the test here for the defense for the Colts, and I don't think they're going to beat them out, even with Darius Leonard coming from the back, from the linebacker core. I think they beat him out. So And then the Colts, I think they forced 3 turnovers today. I talked about it earlier on why I would not start Baker Mayfield. But you have to over Phillip Rivers in fantasy football. But I think the Colts forced 3 turnovers, and it starts with Baker Mayfield. I think we pressure him a lot early on, and he starts to get flustered. He has to start making weird throws. He has to start trying to play the game, and he turns the ball over. I just think it is. He's aggressive on the field. He's not a smart pocket passer yet. So you heard it here first, Colts fans. Under 100 rushing yards for the Browns today, and the Colts forced 3 turnovers. Let's see. I'm getting more and more bold. Like I started off slight light, and I'm just getting on.
We need to get turnovers today if we want that quest for 40 or whatever they're going for on defense. There we got to start.
We have to.
Yeah, we have to start getting over like 2 a game. So
So okay, Colts fans, and bring the juice fans. We have a special guest for our show. He's not really special for you guys, but he's special for us. Our man here,
special for them. He's going to be special for them.
Special for them too. Yeah, that's true. So we got our man here, Cody Felger. Cody, how are you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm so pumped, man. Ready for this game.
Yeah.
I just kind of hopped in and heard your guys' bold prediction. Browns under 100 yards rushing.
Browns under 100. Yep, yeah. I called it. I'm calling it now. Under 100. Wow. So, Cody, I want to ask you, what are your bold predictions for this game? I know you got no prep time for this.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to go Mayfield's going to throw multiple interceptions today. Yep. I think he's going to throw 2 interceptions easily. And I've said, like, I love what the Colts defense is doing, but, like, I'm also kind of, like, scared of this Browns offense with all the weapons they have. But, gosh, like, I just think Mayfield kind of, in a way, but, like, I don't want to say he's Rivers because he's not. But, like, the way that this offense is set up, like, you don't want Baker throwing it 40 times, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and if he does, it kind of gives me similar vibes to, like, what Kirk Cousins does sometimes where he kind of takes some risks. Yep. And I think this is going to be the case here in this game. So, I definitely think that's going to happen. I see a question asking me how Top Golf was. That was fun. I went to Fisher's Top Golf yesterday. My first time. It was a lot of fun, but we kind of get off topic there.
Yeah, I saw that question. I was like, I feel like there it is. How was Top Golf?
Good. Lost the first game, won the second game, so it's a lot of fun.
I haven't been there yet.
It's so much fun.
It's right down the street from it. Like, I'm literally 10 minutes from Top Golf, and I've never been. I actually lived like right by Top Golf. I could see them building it as I like from the apartment that we lived at. So see, I need to go.
I make it to IKEA's in Portillo, and I don't make it past there. So
Portillo's, we had Portillo's. It was good.
Yeah, that's true. Good stuff.
So good. Yeah. One thing I thought we could do, because I didn't do it in a video this week when I normally do, is keys to this game. That's something I don't know if you guys talked about it much. I know you guys kind of talked about X factors a little bit, so I could kind of, maybe substitute for that. But
that was your X factor.
Talk about. So, Jacob, what are your 3 keys to this game?
So I talked about them earlier, but I will quickly recap because one of them I went off onto a long tangent. My first one is run the ball. That should always and every game be our number 1 key in my books. Number 2 is finishing off drives. Have to convert field goals into touchdowns, especially with this team. I think you're going to have to try to outpace them in the touchdown category. And then lastly, we got to see more players step up, especially with injuries. We have key injuries on both sides of the ball. Got to see guys step up. I've been, thrilled thus far with the guys that have stepped up, but we just got to see more of it. And we got to see, continued play from these guys.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to throw a couple comments out here, guys, that I've seen. X factors the X factor are the turnovers in the game. That's good. This guy here, tough, but the Colts can achieve it. If the Browns rush less than 100 yards, Colts will win.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people are smart, man. And then this is my kind of bold prediction right here. Glasgow blocks 3 punts, and Garrett gets pancaked by Raven Clark. That would be amazing, and I am here for it, Justin. I like the name. I like your bold prediction.
Oh boy,
dang!
That's my kind of stuff right there.
Raven Clark can do that, man. Whew.
Cody, I have to take a quick timeout here because I said that 4 minutes ago we were going to announce the trivia answer here for how many touchdowns did the Colts score in the 2006 season. And before I do, Cody, do you have a guess?
Oh gosh,
it's not 45 or 100.
Like great. Like it was still good, but it wasn't like 2005 good. I know they had 2,000 yards rushers, and Rhodes and Adai. Gosh, I don't even know what like the normal is for that.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
It's a hard one, I know.
Can you give me a ballpark range?
I got the ballpark.
It's somewhere in between 45 and 100.
45 and 100.
Like, okay, now I feel like I'm going low. I'll say like 73. Random number.
Okay, that's still a lot. I was trying to go back up here. And one person did answer the question correctly, and I was trying to find it. Yeah, I like this. So, how many touchdowns in the 2006 season? Yeah, I got you, man. Okay,
keep them honest.
So
keep them honest, guys.
yeah, keep me honest. So the answer is, and no last minute ones here. It is 50. We scored 50 touchdowns. So
I was close the first time before I heard between 45 and 100. I was like, oh gosh, I'm like,
yeah. So actually, I think FaZe Waterhose X on YouTube, he answered it correctly. I was trying to look for that answer.
Yeah.
But we had 17 rushing touchdowns, 31 passing touchdowns, 1 return, and 1 defensive touchdown that season. So pretty impressive. And it was an even 50, but yeah, so
they only had 1 defensive touchdown that year. It's crazy.
That was a good defense that year too. But I mean,
the Colts already have had.
We already have 2.
Yeah, so we're already stepping up over them. So okay,
not quite. Defensively, maybe.
I guess they do have the ring. So
yeah, but I remember that run defense was absolutely atrocious that year. It was so bad. Yeah. Jacksonville literally ran for like 300 yards on the Colts one game that year. It was bad.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk final scores here, guys.
Yep.
The over-under is 45 points today.
Mm-hmm.
And walking into the game, Derek and I talked about this a little bit earlier, that the Colts were a 2.5-point favorite, but with Leonard and Costanzo out, they have moved the favorite or the line to the Browns at -1 or -1. So the Browns are a 1-point favorite going into today's game now at the over-under as 45. So that has been completely wrong every Colts game this season. I hate to say it, but like every game this season, that line has been wrong. The over-under has been wrong because all of our games are very, very low scoring. Jacob, let's start with you. You are 2-2 this season on picking the winner. Who's your winner and what's the score?
I'm going to go Colts 21-17. I know that's a little low, but I think our defense is really going to keep the Browns honest, and I'm curious to see what we're able to produce against this Browns defense.
Okay.
Yeah. So my pick here, I'm also 2-2 because we have picked the same people every week, and we need to change it up every now and then. But
I'm not picking the Browns.
I'm not picking the Browns either. I'm not scared of the Browns like somebody in the comments thinks I am. The Colts.
I tell you what, man, it's so silly. Like I'm like, you know how it's kind of like the whole idea of like, this is a silly comparison, but like whoever smelt it dealt it kind of thing. I'm like, okay, you're saying we're scared. That obviously is saying you're scared. Like, you wouldn't be trash talking every 5 seconds if you weren't scared. So yeah,
why do you come to a Colts podcast when you're a Browns fan and be like, oh, you guys are scared?
In the comments, I just don't understand, and that's just one of them. It's like, okay, like if we lose, like we were never trash talking, never saying you guys suck. Like we think the Browns are a good team. We just think it's like, okay, the opponents they played and the Colts have played haven't been great, but like the Colts have dominated every single game they're supposed to dominate, except for week 1, which is just a weird game, you know? So
yeah.
But anyway,
sorry. So I'm picking the Colts. I'm going even lower scoring. Well, kind of lower scoring than you, Jacob. Which one are you? I'm saying Colts win 21-13. The Browns only get 1 touchdown today and 2 field goals. So that's my call. I don't know who's scoring a touchdown on the Colts. I'm hoping maybe 2 defensive touchdowns since we're only scoring 1 offensive touchdown this season every game. So I'm hoping maybe Jonathan Taylor, TY gets 1 and then a defensive touchdown, or maybe Mo gets in the game somehow and gets another touchdown in the back of the end zone.
Touchdown last week.
We have to step up. So this is the game that we have to step up.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we'll go 27-20 Colts as well. I think this is Trey Burton's game where he gets his first touchdown as a Colt. these Browns linebackers are not good against the tight ends. Yeah. Frank Reich even talked about how they wanted to get the tight ends going last week against the Bears, and for some reason they didn't. So I'm looking for them to get them a lot more involved. All three of these tight ends I think are going to get heavily involved this game. And I think this is Trey Burton's first game where he breaks out and has a touchdown. So 27-20, but honestly, I think it's going to be a good game throughout. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as hyped on Trey Burton yet. I'm a little hesitant. Justin and I talked about it earlier. I just don't want them to force the ball to Trey Burton. I know what he can do. It can't be forced. And I just hate to go away from Mo Ali Cox when he's been the high hand thus far. I mean, I would like to see Burton involved, but you got to do it the right way.
I don't want to see the ball forced at all, ever. Whether it's Trey Burton or Ty or Zach Pascal, I want the ball to go smoothly. Like the ball needs to be smooth, and I think. We're 5 games. This is going to be the 5th game this season. I understand the offenses, they take time to build chemistry. I mean, Philip Rivers is still learning behind that offensive line. He's still trying to figure out how Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines and Jordan Wilkins fits in, which tight end to throw the ball to, who has the hands, which wide receivers are healthy that week. So there's a lot Philip Rivers is still learning, and there's a lot even Ty is learning from Philip Rivers because everybody throws the ball differently. If you look at Philip Rivers and Andrew Luck and Jacoby Brissett and Matt Hasselbeck and everybody that Ty has received the ball from, it's not the same. Philip's throwing motion's really weird, but you can't train that out of him, not at this age of his career. So so we'll definitely see how that goes for him. So, I just think 5 games in the season, this is where you need to start building that momentum offensively, not just defensively, because defense can keep you in games. Defense can win championships. But if you rely on the defense for 16 games, that's going to hurt come in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Their red zone offense has been absolutely awful this year, and I just don't get it because that's normally a staple of Frank Reich's offense, right? So it's weird that they've struggled on third down, they've struggled to convert in the red zone. Fortunately, the defense has picked it up so far, and I kind of look at it kind of like this. I think we talked about it before, but okay, you have no preseason games, and I know that's for everybody across the board, but thinking about it from this perspective, this would technically be week 1 if you went off of how many preseason games they normally do. So I'm kind of looking for them. Yeah, it's kind of not been great so far, but they're figuring it out. They've dealt with injuries, and I'm going to give them a little bit of time to kind of get acclimated with each other. I mean, your starting running back gets hurt. He's out for the year. Your top 2 wide receivers get hurt. Your tight ends hurt for a little bit. So they're getting acclimated with each other. So I'm giving them a little bit more grace than I probably normally would. But overall, it's got to get better for sure.
Yeah. And Cody, Jacob and I have kind of talked about this earlier. Mm-hmm. And as I'm saying this, I'm remembering that the trivia banner's still on. We talked about this earlier with Darius Leonard being out. And actually, Jacob, now I'm saying this, I think we talked about this off air, not actually on air. So I'll get both your opinions on this. With Leonard out today, and we have potentially Walker, Okereke, and EJ Speed. This is a young linebacker. I mean, Darius Leonard doesn't make it an old linebacker core by any means, but this is a very different linebacker core than with Leonard in there. With subbing in EJ Speed, it's not. I mean, we were not used to having to see EJ Speed fill in for the All Pro. How do you think even just that those 3 do today on the field together?
Yeah, I mean, and I also want to throw out a name, Zaire Franklin, as well, who might get some run at linebacker. But honestly, I'm more concerned with the Costanzo injury, quite honestly, because Leonard went out of that game. What was it around halftime or third quarter or something like that? Mm-hmm. I didn't watch the game, so I don't really know when that injury officially happened. But yeah, so and the Colts were fine at linebacker. I think Okereke helps me sleep a little bit better at night, and this is the depth that they have at linebacker. So it's obviously sucks because Leonard's a generational player, but fortunately the Colts have a lot of depth at linebacker, and it seems like Zaire Franklin is having a really good camp. EJ Speed's just his intangibles just out of this world. He's tall, he's long, he's fast. He's a little bit raw still, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens there. I'm curious your thought on that, Jacob.
Yeah, I think Zaire Franklin is a name to watch out for. I know he's big on special teams, but might have to step up in this game. I love Bobby Okereke, and I think that's going to be huge. But he is also coming off thumb surgery, so I don't know what. I mean, he's good to go, but I don't know what that means for him.
That's right.
Yeah, and EJ Speed also had an elbow injury, so I mean, both of them are good, but it's just kind of these little nagging injuries that all it takes is probably a wrong bump or something, and you're going to re-aggravate it. So I would even throw Jordan Glasgow's name in the mix as well. I know he's a special teams guy, and he had that punt block last week. But I don't know if it gets to where Anthony Walker's ankle starts acting up again, we might have to throw Jordan Glasgow into the mix. So I'm excited to see, because we do have a young core at the linebacker position, and we have talent behind these guys. They just haven't been able to show it yet. So I'm hoping they can kind of step in. I'm not expecting anybody to be Darius Leonard. I'm just expecting them to come in and do their job.
I want to throw out there that the Colts defense beat the Chiefs offense last year without Darius Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and DeForest Buckner,
and without DeForest Buckner and Xavier Rhodes and TJ Carey, and we did not have the greatest defense last year.
Yeah.
We still beat the Chiefs.
And Julian Blackman.
Julian Blackman, and so this is a much different defense. I'm to be honest with you, I'm fine with it. I'm honestly fine with this. So
I mean, I'm not fine. I'd rather have Darius Leonard in there, but
I'm not like, oh no, what are we gonna do on defense? So I'm cool. It's whatever to me. Next man up. That's always been the thing, is just next man up. So
yeah.
So I see you guys comments in here following Jacob. That's great. I love it. Be sure to follow him on Twitter. Also, I know it's hard to find me occasionally, but I put my Twitter handle right here in the display name. It's just my name. There's nothing special about it. So yeah, be sure to follow us. We like to talk Colts football as well too. So we really do appreciate you guys. And then we lost Jay again. It's okay. Yeah, I mean, God, I'm really excited for this game, and we still have 4 more hours until the game. Why? We talked about this last week. I kind of like the 1:00 games, because you wake up, you get breakfast going, you talk about the Colts on here, and then it's game time. And now we have to wait 4 hours. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, Cody, do you have any other things? I mean, any things to watch out for this game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I don't know how much you guys covered, so I don't want to rehash things, but I'm really excited for this game. I think overall, the Browns are a good team. They have a lot of firepower on offense. Obviously, it's going to hurt without Nick Chubb. My fantasy team feels it too. But overall, I think it's going to be a good test for the secondary. I mean, everybody's been talking up this Colts defense. How are they going to respond now? They always have played the underdog role a little bit. So I'm excited to see what happens now that they're on top. They've had some really good back-to-back week performances. So I'm excited to see. This is going to be a good test for them, and good test against really some good receivers. They got David Njoku back. They have Austin Hooper. Yeah. They also had, what's the guy's name? The tight end they drafted. They have really good tight ends all the way through. Hunter Bryant, I think is his name.
Oh, okay. You already said Njoku.
Yep. So they have a lot of weapons, and I'm excited to see, can this defense rise at the occasion? I mean, I think they can. I really do. And I think it's just going to be a good test for both of these teams, because we're both 3-1 right now. But the victories that we haven't really been against the best teams in the world, if you will. Mm-hmm. So now we're playing a team that's also had some games where they've won by decently convincingly. I'm excited to see what happens for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is that yes, we haven't played the greatest teams, but we've defeated them without question. The games that we have won. There was never a question on who was going to win those games. We've just flat out beat them. And that's what good teams have to do. They can't let teams stay in the game like we did on the Jaguars, and then we lost to the Jaguars. You have to come out here in the first game and be in the first quarter and just beat them in the first quarter, beat them in the second quarter, and then make halftime adjustments. What happens in the third quarter is what is going to determine the game, I think.
Yeah.
Do we make those adjustments to whatever their offense is doing?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
All right, guys, it's game day. It's always a great day. Sunday's my favorite day of the week now, so we're finally back to that point, and hopefully this thing called COVID doesn't end our season. Yeah. Jacob, we almost made an entire live stream without me talking about COVID, and I brought it up at the very last minute.
Some guys saying wear a mask. Well, you see, we're not near each other. We're socially distant by a lot of miles. So
yes, okay. I am in my home studio.
We are all in the same state, but not the same area. But here you go. Here's a mask.
I have mine.
Okay. Guys.
Look at this.
All right.
Oh my gosh. I appreciate the super chat, but this is funny. Oh my gosh. We have some Chad Kelly truthers in here.
Chad Kelly. Oh boy.
All right. I on that note, I'm out of here. Like, I'm done. I can't deal with Chad Kelly, man. That's my.
It's Chad Kelly hype. Let's go. Oh,
where is he at?
Who did we drop him for?
Oh god.
Wasn't it Rondell Carter that we?
It might have been.
I think so.
Rondell Carter or Marcus Johnson?
Oh no. It was my guy from Warren Central. Krishan Hogan. Krishan Hogan. I'm so glad he made the practice squad.
Well, they cut him though
to kick. Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
They got rid of Krishan Hogan because they brought in the cornerback from the Giants, and then they got rid of him to bring in Najee Good.
That's right. Now back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's not on the team right now. He's released as of this point.
Chad Kelly. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to see where he ends up. He might end up on another team.
Yeah.
Another practice squad filler.
I'm kind of glad we don't have to hear about it, but now here we are again. But
hey, XFL, I'm telling you, watch out.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I would
Chad
like
Kelly XFL. It worked for Philip Walker. I think he's back up in Carolina now. So
all right, Cody, I was really cool with a lot of your fans on here commenting, but now the Chad Kelly talk is coming out, and I'm questioning these guys now. So
that's hilarious.
Oh man,
we that about every time. Well, when he was on the team, we added a ton, especially during the off season. Oh my gosh. We couldn't handle it. It was crazy.
Chad Kelly and oh my god, no. It's okay. We can talk about Chad Kelly and how terrible he is, but
oh dear, we're gonna get a lot of dislikes if we do that.
Chad Kelly, he's so great, guys. Keep dropping it. Yeah. All right, guys. Be sure to catch the Colts game at 4:25 today. We're on CBS today, I assume. Yep, on CBS. So
announcing crew is
Sparrow.
Wait, who is it today?
Our guy Sparrow Diaz.
Yeah.
Once again.
I thought we were getting Tony Romo.
No. Are you kidding me? You think we get No, we got to do a lot more to get Tony Romo.
Cowboys, let's be real.
I thought I saw something about getting Tony Romo. I don't hate Tony Romo as an announcer. I don't
either, but
he's cool.
That would mean we'd have a primetime
At least we didn't get Joe Buck. I know he's on Fox, but at least it's not Joe Buck.
At least Joe Buck does the big games. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
It's the status of the announcer indicates how big of a game it's going to be.
That's true.
That's
how did we not get Tony Romo? These are 2 3-1 teams.
Because
Suspect.
of the Cowboys.
Suspect. Yeah.
Dude, I'm really upset by this now. Who's he announcing today?
The Cowboys, Washington or I don't know.
What?
Cowboys,
terrible teams.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's the Cowboys, man.
No. Oh man, I don't like that. He doesn't always do the Cowboys though.
Well, no, but
the Cowboys are playing the Giants today.
Oh yeah, so I knew it was the divisional game. So 2 awful teams are playing each other. But
it's battle for last place in their division.
You gotta love it.
Hey, that's showbiz, man. That's showbiz.
Yeah. By the way, for the 80 of you who are in here, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button as well. Right now we only have 33 likes, so we'd love to get that up to at least 50 or maybe more, maybe 100. Who knows?
We weren't that bad. We weren't that bad for our debut.
Yeah,
could have been worse.
You guys did great.
Thank
you guys for doing that. And Samuel, give me a little more love there. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I guess if Chad Kelly was starting, they'd be oh, we have to put Romo in.
I'm just throwing this out there. If we get Dak Prescott next year, I bet we get Romo calling a game.
Oh.
Just hey, I'm out. I'm out. Just leaving it at that.
Question for you guys: what morning game are you guys going to watch?
Yeah.
So we talked about this a little bit. I didn't even look at who we actually get today.
It was we were talking about, would you rather watch the Bengals and the Ravens or the Eagles and the Steelers? So there's actually a game I would watch above those two. And I think for me, it's either going to be the Las Vegas Kansas City game or the Jacksonville Houston game, just because that's a divisional game. And I want to see either how bad Houston is or how bad Jacksonville is, I guess. But yeah, that one or the Las Vegas Raiders and the Chiefs, because I want to see what they are. Are the Raiders legit? I think Kansas City wins, but how legit are the Raiders?
Yeah, that's true. I know. It's funny. I actually posted a tweet last night, kind of predicting the rest of the season, and I had the Colts losing to the Raiders, and people were like, "Why'd you say the Raiders?" I'm like, "Well, good grief, the Colts have been torched by the Raiders the last couple years,
and the Raiders aren't bad.
We're going to beat the Raiders. I mean, last year we lost by single digits, but the Raiders pretty much kicked our butts last week in our own bad or last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So for those of you that don't have like the NFL Red Zone and you just have to watch off of whatever the TV tells you that you get to watch, today's games we get both the Eagles at Steelers on Fox, and then we get the Raiders at Chiefs. So I'll probably be watching the Raiders at Chiefs game.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah, I would definitely recommend that one. I'm playing against Patty Mahomes, so I hope the Raiders defense shuts him down somehow, just randomly. It probably won't happen, but
you never know. I think he's good for like one game a season where he just doesn't do anything productive. So this might be that game. Get it out early, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, guys, keep hitting that like button, please. Just keep doing it.
Let's see where we're at.
And then if you don't follow Bring the Juice for some reason, follow Bring the Juice. And if you don't follow Jacob, I, or Cody, or Derek, or any of us, be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Wait, you can't follow on Facebook. You follow them on Facebook. But yeah, we're on Twitter and Instagram as well. So
yeah,
we post cool things sometimes. I guess if you want to see like what I cook that day, then you can definitely follow me on Instagram. But yeah, I post a lot of pictures of my dog and food. So
right, mine's just more personal. So it's like but
yeah, follow me on Twitter. That's where I talk Colts.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's game day. Yeah, time to go watch some football. I mean, we're 18 minutes from kickoff from the first games today. So, Jacob, Cody, if you guys don't have anything else, I think we're done for the day.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming on. This was awesome. I'm glad that you can do this, and hoping we can do this every week. You know, you guys can come on. Unfortunately, next week I won't be able to join you. I'll be heading down to Lucas Oil Stadium, watch Colts Bengals. So I'm pumped for that.
Well, that's slightly better, and I would much rather be doing that. So maybe one game this season, maybe we'll see. I can just live stream from Lucas Oil. Just hey, I'm gonna bring my laptop into the game. Like,
yeah, I didn't know if I could do that. Like, if I could do stuff like that. I don't know.
That would be so cool.
You know,
you could just like on location.
Yeah,
like,
get like
set
up like a little table or something by Lucas Oil, and then just like have it as the background of people walking in. That would be super cool.
That'd be awesome. Well, I know, like, do you guys watch Michael Pittman and his girlfriend's like YouTube channel at all?
No, I've missed that.
I watched their Instagram live, but that's about it.
Okay, yeah. So I kind of watch their channel a little bit, and like his girlfriend will like go to the games and she'll bring her camera and she'll like record like certain plays. So I'm like, can I do that? Like, I don't know if that's a thing I can do or not. Or if just because she's a player, I don't know.
Player privilege.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I don't know, but it's just interesting.
Is she just like from the stands, like recording plays?
Yeah. She records like if he makes a catch or something like that.
I mean, I don't see why that would be an issue.
Yeah, I didn't know like with the NFL's like policy on recording stuff, and I don't know.
I guess maybe if she's making money off of it, that would be a thing. But
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's on her YouTube channel, so. Interesting stuff.
That's true. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like creating your own like highlight tapes and stuff, I guess.
I mean, and he is the one in the content, so.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you'll just go into the field and just record a player for Bring the Juice. Just do it.
Yeah, just make hey, confidence is key. If I learned anything, if you just walk on the field and act like you're supposed to be there, it works like maybe 7 times out of 10. Like I will give it a full like 9 out of 10.
Badge from last year and just be like,
If it looks like you are on a mission, nobody will stop you.
Get
Except
a
for
Colts
maybe a
polo
yellow.
and some khaki pants and get like a thing that looks like a pass and put a Colts mask on. They'll never know. You just head down, keep walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
true.
Get a little earpiece or something, make it look like you're talking to somebody. All right, guys. I think that's it for you. Or for us, for you. No, you guys stay where you are. And yeah, Colts game is in 4 hours. Or no, 3.5 hours.
Wow.
So it's almost here, guys.
Here.
Yeah, thanks for listening today. Thanks for listening to Jacob and I chat in your face for an hour and 15 minutes. Cody, thanks again for coming on for the last half hour.
Yeah.
Very, very enjoyable. And go Colts. Actually, I'm sorry. We will be back next week. Same time, same place. So be sure to catch us next week, and go Colts.